Welcome back to another episode brought to you by Game Glitches. Right now we're going to take another look at Pillars of Eternity and a brand new quest called Undying Heritage. You could obtain this quest after completing Never Far From the Queen. If you're having any difficulties or issues completing that quest or would like to find out any kind of tips and tricks onto it, please check out my video on Never Far From the Queen where I can give a complete walkthrough throughout the entire quest. Now back to the Undying Heritage. Once you begin to obtain this quest and once you finish Never Far From the Queen,
I'm on the trail.
and you take a look at the map, you will be able to obtain it at Temple of Wodica, right over here. Please note that this quest Undying Heritage would also eventually will lead to a brand new paladin companion, and if you have, like me, where all of your characters are companion, you would have a tough choice to make on who would you like to get rid of, because you will kind of get attached to them. Well, at least I did a little.
Slow and silent.
In any case, we will continue now to go and find the tower for the leaded key. And please also note that you can actually get out here. There's a lever right over here on this wall that once you pull it, you'd be able to open up the staircase and head upwards. Now, for the Undying Heritage, after you have exited the catacombs, you would need to find any local guard. Once you found any local guard, you need to proceed and speak to him. And as you could see, your Undying Heritage has now progressed.
Slow and silent.
As well as the man who waits. But now you need to enter the tower in Heritage Hill. Now let's head to the tower in Heritage Hill. Now, you can just enter the Heritage Hill if you would like to. You need to obtain certain amount of permission. To obtain permission, you need to travel back to the first fires if you left the area, or just, if once you pop up over here, travel to the Crucible Keep. Once you're inside the Crucible Keep, of course if you're successful and have a good stealth, you can loot the area. Shh! Head into the training grounds and look for Wheeler. And of course you agreed to look into it.
Keeping an eye out.
And you will obtain a new task, Missing Sentries. And as you could see, the Missing Sentries is enter the Heritage Hill. Technically, you can enter without this quest, but it's not preferred, because then you will get to complete 2 quests and will obtain a lot more experience. But again, the choice is yours how you want to enter the Heritage Hill. I am sure that there are many ways that I haven't even found, considering the scope of this game. So please don't hold it against me. Just put it in my comments, and if there's enough things that I've missed in the video, I will make a whole separate video as a part 2 to any of my guides. As usual, to travel to Heritage Hill, you would come up to any area of the map where you're leaving the area. The world map would pop up, and now you would try to and go to Heritage Hill right over here, which is a 15-minute travel. Once you're at Heritage Hill, you need to proceed through.
Light!
Once you're at the Heritage Hill, you need to talk to one of the guards, and you have several options. You have 18 might that might successfully allow you to get in if you have that on your character, which I do, or you could tell them that will send me and they will open the door up for you. This is why I was mentioning earlier for you to get the quest from Wheeler. Even you could do this without obtaining it, but this would save you a lot of time and effort. So you just click I'm looking for missing guards. And of course you tell them farewell, and of course your Undying Heritage progresses.
Slow and silent.
And now you can go in. And of course, you will obtain a brand new task, Missing Sentry. Find the missing guards. For the Undying Heritage quest, once you make it to the Heritage Hill, you have to progress through the dungeon, come down this hill, and make your way into the tower. Once you approach the tower, you would notice that this door glows blue. Please note that there's going to be a big fight with a bunch of gulls and the undead and the casters. So please be careful and be prepared for the fight. When you click on the door, you have now the words that you obtained before for the lead key. You say the words, and the door opens up, and now you would be allowed to enter the keep.
Keeping an eye out.
Upon entering the area for the Undying Heritage, into the tower level 1, you will instantly engage into a fight with multiple gulls and multiple dargulls. So please be really careful and be again prepared for the battle. Now, for the Undying Heritage, after you have entered the tower and defeated few ghouls, you would proceed this way. There's a table for here to loot some notes in regards to the machine, and right over here you could also loot some notes. Please note that there's casters here, few fights here, but that's up to you. Now, if you enter this area right here, you go to the second floor of the tower.
I'll see what I can find.
And as you could see, the tower is not big. Once
As you wish.
enter on the second floor of the tower, you would notice that there are already revenants for you to handle. Once you're on the second floor of the tower for the Undying Heritage, you would encounter a few revenants, there's one of them right there. There's also a few, make sure you check all the bookshelves.
See me coming.
As you could see, there's quite a lot of loot involved in here. Once you find the second stairs over here, now proceed to the third level of the tower. And now you are in the third level of the tower. Now proceed to speak to Aldhelm.
Still nothing. Confounded device. Shouldn't be here. What do you want? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Forgive me. Research. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from gods. It hardly matters now. Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trindig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides. A trick of shadows, I told him. The next morning, we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight. And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own. On its own! How can we stop what we couldn't start? Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. Nowhere to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar. clinging to rotting meat. No time to slow down! But I can explain. Hold a magnet over iron splinters and they stick, yes? Rub your hand over weir wool and the hair of your head will follow it. So it is with this machine. It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfath? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk. Not your help I need. It's Heodan, shrew. Squanders her research on frivolities, then refuses to make herself useful. Runes! The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Icantha knows them. She gives them to you, and you can turn the machine off. Release our souls. I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late.
And of course, not to aggravate him or piss him off.
I don't know what he did. But by morning, the machine was on and we were...
We'll just leave it at that, because it's a very long conversation. And now, as you could see, your Undying heritage has complete. Now you need to head back outside.
Slow and silent.
Proceed all the way to the bottom of the tower.
Keeping an eye out.
Then, of course, exit the tower.
Laying low.
Now, where you would need to head to, it will be north, Icantha's house. As you could see, you would travel back up. There are a few undeads that you would have to handle, and here's her house. Then proceed to enter your home, her home.
A blade in the dark.
You return.
And then talk
What
to
if you
her
come seeking
and
this
tell her
time?
I need the words to operate the Agwathian machine in the tower.
That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is. He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning. Ternuneth. It's called Ternuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls. Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished, the real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them, like butterflies under glass? To melt them down for raw essence? Unfortunately, I don't know. I read the runes like a journal. I understand their meaning. People like Aldhelm try to read them like instructions, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely. Ugh, back to these Tinker's concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
Here you would have to come to a decision which you have to handle really carefully. But I'm gonna go with release them.
So you say. And just what would you release them to? They'd abandon their existence here for another somewhere else, equally aimless and meaningless. So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need. Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish. Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
As you tell her, thank you, that's all, your Undying Heritage quest upgrades.
Hello.
And now you need to go back to the machine. Once you made it upstairs of the tower, come back over here.
Hey.
What is it? Of
just,
course. As you wish.
Flesh.
Now you need to deal with his machine.
I'm on the trail.
Still and silent.
As you could see, after
It's
you
finally over.
Nice and quiet.
After you turn off the machine, you will gain party experience 1452 and 5,000 basically experience total. Now, let's see what would happen if you would overload the machine.
Flesh. Still and silent. It's finally over.
And there you go. You have destroyed the machine.
Keeping an eye out. Of course.
And now the quest is over. But I'm gonna go with the event where I get to keep the machine. and not of course blow it up. Perhaps in the future I will discover something that I have overlooked, and maybe this machine would come in handy for one purpose or another. For now, I'm just gonna load up before my previous save and make sure that the machine is unharmed. But again, it's up to you guys, because in both cases you could see the experience reward is the same.
I'm on the
After you've completed an Undying heritage, you're not fully 100% done.
Keeping an eye out.
You need to travel back to Brackenbury and head to Hadred's house. When you arrive at Hadred's house, you will have a little talk with the spirit, and you will be given a free item. This is what you'll receive. This cool looking gun with lightning, the Saint Garam Spark. The stats are quite amazing on it, especially the way it looks. You know, it's very, very nice how it looks like.
Point the way.
Very nice.
They won't see.
Thank you all for tuning in to another guide on Pillars of Eternity. I hope you all found this guide helpful and informative. Please check out other available guides on Pillar of Eternity by clicking on the next guide video or by clicking on a playlist that is located in the description below. As always, please click like and please subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to check me out on twitch.tv, where I stream live all the time, to which the link is also available in the description below. Thank you all again for tuning in, and please be safe in a land of eternity.